Hello everybody and welcome to Let's In the Middle of the Night Read, because that is precisely what Berta is doing right now. It's 1 a.m. and 30 minutes past that. But hey, we have some time. I don't have anywhere to be tomorrow. I'll probably just be doing more reading of my book, which is very, very relaxing and good for your soul. Good for your soul. Anyways, I am gonna be doing a nosy reporter side mission, and we're gonna see where the story takes us. If the story doesn't progress for long enough, we'll go with Jezebel's Childer. But I have a feeling that the story's gonna catch up to us real soon, for I don't think that they planned for you to be able to recruit all four people at the same time, so I'm gonna assume that there's not enough time for that. The weather is cold and windy as you walk to Sophie's apartment. As a vampire, that doesn't matter anymore. You may have been saddled with eternal hunger, but at least you can ignore the wind chill. You know, whenever anyone writes on the subject, please tell me, how can you still separate that the environment is cold, but then state that it don't matter for your dead? How can you register that it's cold and to be completely unbothered by it? Like, if I go outside, it won't bother me that it's cold, for I have a pretty good jacket. Keeps me fairly nice and warm. If I'm sitting right now, my body temperature tends to be cold, for most parts, so it's not like I will start shivering. And yeah, I can tell when things are cold or hot. Yes! More coteries, Jade! And we actually got the other thing as well. Since today I am a proud owner of Shadows of New York, so I'm gonna be reading through that as well. But how it's cold and windy, but you can't feel it, but you can identify that it's cold and windy. It's just, it does not compute. It does not. How can it be cold and windy, and you identify it as cold and windy, but then state that you can no longer feel that it's cold and Yeah, England's really cold. Like, yesterday I didn't even go out to watch the fireworks. I ran outside. I saw some kids firework themselves because it fell and exploded on the ground, and was like, yep, that's enough. Went back indoors. But I'm trying to make sense of it's cold and windy, but as a vampire that doesn't matter anymore. I'm trying to relate it to my own experience of, yeah, sometimes it's chilly in the room, but it doesn't bother me. But I don't know, why am I so bothered by this? Just as you come to the door of Sophie's building, she storms out, murmuring into her phone. Yes, I know, don't worry, I trust you can handle it. I heard Sophie talk to her associates before. It's always the same. Generalities and vague suggestions. It makes you think she's involved in mysterious machinations, yet doesn't tell you anything. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of corporate speak. This game, as a venture, even opened on that vague corporate speak that means absolutely nothing. We should double up in expanding our audience and growing our retention rate. I am definitely gonna get somebody on Zoom call so that we can score that goal or whatever. It's like, please, realistic suggestions and cut off the bullshit. Sophie is dressed to kill, but there's nothing unusual in that. She likes to make an impression. A black car with tinted windows is waiting for her in the front of the door. A chauffeur steps out to open the car door for her. I can't read that word. And, because they only drew one picture of everybody with one outfit, I can't tell when they're dressed to kill, because to me, they're always dressed the same. I'm glad you're in the neighborhood. If you could look around for me one more time, that would be wonderful. You told me you gotten rid of that reporter. Turns out he's still here, snooping around. She's very good at communicating disappointment. I'll take care of it. After tonight, he won't be able to trouble you anymore. Good, don't disappoint me. The reporter talked his way into the building during the day. Once the doorman understood what was happening, he threw him out. He showed old pictures of me to my neighbors. It's very awkward, you understand? You'd go to a nearby diner, settle into a booth, and order a coffee from the steely-eyed Latino waitress. Did Sophie live in the exact same place for like good 80 years? Because that doesn't... I suppose that can be a okay plan if nobody knows you. But it's not like tourists keep a low profile. As she brings you your cup, you describe Frank Dougherty to her as an off chance she'll see something. Just as she's about to answer, you happen to look outside. Something catches your eye. The diner is brightly lit, so you lean in closer to the window to see the street through it. You got lucky! Frank is standing on the sidewalk on the other side of the street, looking at something on his phone. I yell at Frank and tell him to stop. Frank panics and takes a few steps down the street before he stops and turns to face you. His resolve lasts all of a few minutes until you make it to the side of the street through the traffic. As you get closer, he starts to inch away and finally breaks into a run. Frank is not in the physical shape to run anywhere. You catch up to him easily and take him by the scruff of his neck, pushing him into an alley. Oh god, it's you again. Please, I'm working on a different story, I swear. Let's have a friendly chat. I'm all about being friendly. Okay, I'm sorry I tried to bullshit you. Just tell me how I can help you. Why are you here? I'm a reporter. I report. That's my job. Look, I don't want any trouble. I can see that you're serious. There's something to Sophie Langley. I think you know what it is. Is this worth the pain? Look, I need a scoop. I need a story. I need something that says Frank Dougherty is at the top of the things again. Nobody respects me. Oh yeah, writing a practically supernatural-based story will make people respect you, right? Yeah. Well, apparently we're having a very friendly chat in an alleyway while holding people by their necks. I'm very, kill-friendly, I suppose. When you fuck up, there's no sympathy. People enjoy seeing you fall. Definitely writing a story that makes you look like you lost your mind will not help you. If things happen of mythical nature, you discuss them in a circle with like-minded people, for if you publish it, you will appear batshit crazy, okay? You just will. And then some things you just keep to yourself and go, I don't care about Sophie Langley. I care about Frank Dougherty. I'm not asking for much, just one story that isn't about trying to get a shot of celebrities' underwear. Something about Frank feels off. Do you have a personal interest in it? What? No. Or, I mean, she's a very attractive woman, but I can make it a rule to never get involved with people I write about. Is this about revenge? No, I never met her. Sometimes I just need some extra money, that's all. Where does the extra money come from, Frank? There's a guy, he's paying me, that is all, but I can't talk about that. You see, I wanna, but we don't absorb information through the blood. This would be too easy, right? And if somebody is pushing him for information, we can try. And if somebody hired him, they're just gonna hire a new guy. So killing Frank won't solve our problems. We need to figure out who Frank works for, take that information, and then we can drink Frank dry. At the very least, I keep on hiring reporters. They keep on dying from being drunk dry. I wonder. Okay. In this roleplay, this is how I would do it. I would push them for information first and then would kill them. I bet if I push him for information, I can't kill him after, but let's start here. Come on, you can give me more than that. Not really. Even I don't know all that much about these people. What do your instincts tell you? I'm not sure, I can't get a handle on them. Or I think it's blackmail or business rival or next. Okay, that's enough. I can't tell you anything more. You gotta consider the position I'm in. We're not done. Fine, I'll leave her alone. I'm done with this. It was all bullshit anyway. You can tell Sophie Langley that you won't see me anymore. Why did we let him go? This is like the point where we were like, okay, you're not gonna tell us anything? That's at least what I would do. But, maybe I'm just mean. Maybe I'm an inhumane human. That's a very weird realization, honestly. You arrive at the Leech Pit, finding it less rowdy than the last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead, the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. I like my noise, actually, sometimes. It's especially good if you're trying to do brain training. Especially if brain training involves focusing on specific instruments inside of a melody and trying to focus and follow those chords alone. If you're listening to something that sounds like pure noise, that's actually perfect. That's like expert level stuff. You know, I say that I'm an inhumane human, but if you were actually in that position, the way that you act would probably be a lot less logical than from a cold, calculating point of being in front of your computer. I would probably swear by pacifism to a point where that would probably get me killed really, really, really fast because these people are... They're so focused on politics that their IQ level is like sub 50. Each one of them, and they're really, really fast at killing each other. It must... Existence is a world of darkness vampire, unless you move away, must just like be such an incredible levels of paranoia that I just want to give them all a nice cruise ship token to like Malibu or something, just so that they can chill and relax for a second, because holding that in for years must do weird shit with your brain. Mia's nowhere to be seen. You approach the bars, the bartender finishing pouring a beer. What can I get you? Did anyone leave a message for me? Maybe. Oh yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of young adult vampire novel, and flips through it. Yep, we didn't keep up with the book trends because we're adventure that did corporate stuff the whole life. Then again, considering my current interests, I would eventually probably be able to quote Aristotle at people, but then be like, what current events? Current memes? I don't get them. I don't understand what is happening right now. We don't sparkle. We failed. We failed. He's told me you'll be interested in reading this. He wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the Leech Pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude. Tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer sent here to spy on us by the cam. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card and return it to a bar. I'm gonna assume retainer and ghoul are, yep, the same thing. Retainer is a ghoul. Currently, I know nothing to tell. Currently, I have an overall outlook on philosophy as a whole through different continents, and not much else. I'm planning on rectifying that in the upcoming years. I'm also planning on learning a lot of more magic. If I can astral project, that would be a goal. That would be a goal. My mind's not that open. My mind hasn't fallen out of my head yet. Hello, Copper Calf. Yep, we found Bruce. For the first time in a long while, we're actually quite okay on drinking. Mainly because we drank some guy to death, like, in front of our house. Well, yeah, they are. Hence why I am literally spending my free times reading books. And I'm planning on buying a lot of them, especially when I move. And I'm gonna have a bookcase and I'm just gonna have books. And I'm gonna read even about all the religions and their texts. Even though, once again, I don't really plan on practicing it. Yeah, normally people go for lucid dreaming before astral projection. If you're wondering how bad it was before, I haven't dreamt for years. Now that I started getting into divination, into tarot card reading, into black mirror scrying, into summoning, and all sorts, I dream nearly every night. Now the goal would be to be able to control yourself in the dream, but baby steps. Baby steps! So yes, we are fed. We're okay. Let's get him drunk and talkative. Hey, do I know you? You look familiar. Oh yeah, I think I saw you before, right? You know what? Bruce is kinda hot. I think it's the hair. Yeah, probably. I was at the concert the other night, like. I hope that that's not how we're dressed, because if we are, we're gonna really stand up like a sore thumb. I mean, I threw out majority of my old closet. So no matter where I go, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I love this. I legitimately love this. But the first time I'm gonna visit my family back home, they will think that I have lost my absolute goddamn mind, and I do not mind that one bit. But I am now criticizing Aventru for sticking out in an anarch place, when I would literally stick out literally anywhere where I could. Oh Jesus, being haunted by cats. There are people that actually adopt old pantheon of gods. If you speak with some witches, they will tell you that Bastet is trying to recruit you. Believe what you will. He winks at you. If you still had these kind of reactions, you sure it would make your skin crawl. He finds us attractive. I find him attractive I mean, his forehead's kinda too short for my liking. Like, he could have more forehead, but I like his hair. You never know. You never know. Anyway, anything I can help you with? Or are you just looking for somebody to chat with? Because I don't mind chatting, babe. What's your poison? I'm gonna buy you beer. Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't dream for years. And then I started doing the occult, and I started having lots of dreams. Now, none of them are very sensical. A lot of them are out of complete left field. Like the last one that I remember, not the last one that I had, because I also had some other ones, but then I was just like, that was a dumb dream, and then I forgot in minutes. But the last one I remember is that somebody left me a YouTube comment about a boss fight that I never fought in PC version of Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. And I was like, how did I miss this for 2 decades straight? And I sat down in the dream, and I recorded a 35-minute video. I remember the timestamp, exactly 35 minutes, where I go and I beat this plant creature. And this plant creature, it even had stages and everything. And I woke up and I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? What, other than my incurable addiction to fine women, I like drinks that say something about a man's style. A jackhammer will do just fine. Oh yeah, that hits the spot. He's very interesting in me. His questions are sex. We should just take this. Oh! At no point does he let slip anything that would point him to being somebody's goal, though. In fact, you're beginning to suspect he's not nearly as drunk as he acts. Well, that was nice, but I gotta go. Thanks for the drinks. Hey, wait a minute. You haven't had anything to drink all this time? No, and your master wouldn't either. Sorry, my what? Oh! Forrest, I'm sorry, but your dreams are epic. Can I have that? Also, anyone has like really bad feeling about 2021, or is that just my divination session of yesterday? I had like great imagery from my black mirror, okay? To a point where I died, but in such a peculiar way that I'm not actually thinking that it's physically possible to die like that in the real world. So I was like, okay, mirror, I think something must have gone off with my own psyche, because you are just showing me things that are just... Yeah, if that premonition comes true, we may as well declare that slime monsters are a thing. But then I did tarot reading, and they practically told me that, well, I pulled a tower, which is fine. I am moving. That's gonna be a tower. The tower is the thing that, like, turns your life upside down, and while moving is a pretty big and stressful thing, that's perfectly reasonable, card. That is perfectly reasonable. But then I pulled cards that told me of loss in this year like 3 times over. So that was quite something. And then I was told that I'm gonna be a strong and independent woman, pretty much. And I was like, okay. Okay, that's a year. And one system thinks that the turbulent times are ending, and another system thinks that the influence of love and peace is waning, while gods that are more warlike are taking over. And now I'm just like, yeah, I have a bad feeling about 2021 in general, and I can't shake it off, and that might just be yesterday. Yeah. Okay, if we're all gonna feel bad about 2021, I feel better that I'm not the only one feeling bad about 2021 as well. But I'm still chucking up my yesterday's session to my mind being drunk because, yeah. I think that they wouldn't really like Christianity. I think, I don't know actually. Main god of Christianity is pretty warlike. But yeah, effectively, Iron Fists are taking over, where they're gonna rule with ruthlessness, but they're gonna set things straight, yo. Oh. I had an odd dream where I was the mother of like 2 children. Like, I was pregnant with one and I was holding a baby, and I was so blissfully happy in that dream. But my current self is actually afraid of children, because I feel like that would be another level of being tied down, and I am not ready. Like, I was so ready to be tied down years ago, and now I'm just like, let me be free. I need the freedom to figure out what the hell I'm doing. You know, maybe that will come through instead of really odd death that ended up in my premonition. But once again, if that one comes through, we may as well declare Space Slime Goo to be real and be done with it. A hint of panic appears on his face. Come on, spit it out. Who's your monster? Simple question, simple answer, and I am out of here. Oh! Okay, he tried to do a runner. Yeah, death is already... Yep, death is normally a representation of change, and other occults told me that. But my death, weirdly enough, has a face. It is a person. Vivid imagery. In a very weird way. On the upside, if I ever saw them, I would recognize them. So, thanks, Black Mirror. But, on the other side, if I would ever see them, I made the swell declare slime monsters to be real. Ah yes, it's not normal to just build anything, just towers? Yeah, I know, that's familiar. You stop now. And I drag him to that same alleyway that I just had it's same alleyway as the friggin' news guy. 2 people in the same alleyway now. It is a popular alleyway. I'm gonna intimidate him with violence. Here's the deal, you tell me your master's name and you save yourself a word of hurt. Unless you want to exit this alley on a stretcher, you would better. Oh! Roos doesn't wait for you to finish talking, he jumps at you, kicking and punching with dizzying speed. Just as you're about to retaliate, he breaks away, jumps the fence at the end of the alley, and he's gone into parts of the city unknown. Oh. God damn it. We didn't get his master. Yeah, thank you for that, Jade. It just means that some weeks maybe I'll stream 3 times, some weeks maybe I won't. It's kind of how it was going already. But I would beat myself over not streaming, and now I'm like, I am just gonna move with fluidity to whatever strikes my fancy and let myself be free. It's just me saying that I am following my headspace to wherever. Yeah, I'm going with the flow, effectively, and I'm not feeling guilty about it, so... I'm gonna leave no name. Hold on 1 second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. Oh! It's an ancient cell phone. Alright, and this. An old charger. She said she'll be in touch. A phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi and no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake though. That's prime entertainment right there. It's like Snake. And that like tiny ball little game that I remember playing on my mother's phone with flip phone. It was like a red ball and you would navigate a maze with it. Ah, that's childhood. That's my childhood memories. Oh, and also the Barbie website. And also the Cartoon Network website. Remember when cartoons would make like promotional games? Yeah, I know, right? I do too. That was my childhood. Hopefully Mia will call us because we royally screwed up. And here is the Nosy Reporter Part 3. Jesus Christ! Oh, he's... No, actually I don't remember the friggin' Skittles game. That was a Skittles game. Okay, small note under my door. I know what you are. I know everything. Meet me at Beautiful View Motel, or everyone else will know too. Okay, how does he know where I live? Secondly, we chose not to eat him. Why is he doing this? I do believe you. Like, yesterday, Flash got sunsetted. And a lot of things were based on Flash, and that's my good old childhood. Another sign, Frank. Yep, I go to Beautiful View Hotel. It's located in Queens. Stepping into Beautiful View Motel, you can't help but think that the name makes promises that the building fails to deliver. You see, you say that. But I would totally... You know, it's just me. I would totally hang out in any abandoned buildings that are, like, safe to enter either way. Which is not a lot of buildings, but... And you do put yourself at risk in running into some crazed drug addict population or perfectly sane and poor homeless population. But if there was a building like this, I would kind of go there for atmosphere, because I understand that this is dust and that these are like those not very nice neon lights, but I mean, look at the seating. And look at the whole It has like this creepy, haunted, almost haunted vibe, but it's like still not completely derelict, so it's like you would go there to vibe. Ooh. There was a black figure. See? It might be haunted. I would totally hang out in here. Outside, there's nothing but an ugly parking lot, empty. The paint marking the parking space is almost completely worn away. You know, one thing that I heard from people, from one person when I initially criticized this game, when I started playing it, my critique still stands though. Some things are written really goofily, and it only really has one ending, outside of the fact that you can get yourself killed at the start, so, I would appreciate more branchiation, is what I'm saying. But one thing that I was told is that the art is pretty good, and I do agree, the art is pretty good. And I do like the ambience in here. Standing in a lobby, it feels like there's decades worth of stale cigarette smoke. You're happy not being able to breathe anymore. The furniture looks like it was picked up from a yard sale in the 60s. Does it now? There's something appropriate in the grubbiness of the surroundings. They fit the image you have of Frank perfectly. It's appropriate to find him in a place like this. Is it? Is it now? Because this is eerie and haunting, and I would say that Frank is more of a... I don't know. Frank, don't get offended, but it's more like I would expect to walk into like a regular flat, like a regular place, but it's like super small, and it's like filled with porn mags to the brim, and there would be like some badly working TV in a corner somewhere, and some like really ancient computer. That's the kind of image that Frank gives me. It doesn't give me like this haunted, eerie hotel look. Yep, there's an old woman in the reception. Walking deeper into the motel, you find a lounge that might have aspired to a kind of lavish comfort in its glory days. Now it just feels sticky. Okay, sticky is the kind of feeling that I'm associating with Frank. So that's fitting. Sticky's fitting. Frank sits on a bar stool. There's no bartender, but Frank has a shot of glass in his hand. He looks even sweatier than usual. What's up, asshole? How does it feel not to know everything? Frank seems drunk. This is the point where I would totally eat Frank. Like, obviously, whoever is working, whatever he's working for, has set up this meeting. Frank didn't do himself. So you have to assume that whoever Frank is working for is probably kindred and is probably in the building already watching you. Frank is completely pointless to you at this point, and he just offended you. You may as well eat Frank. But you're drunk, Frank. Sure, I'm drunk. Fucking hell. He seems more confident and depressed at the same time, as if he had a secret that gives him power but also brought him down. I'll go behind the bar. And I'll pour him another drink! I thought I was just gonna, like, be person to person. I didn't think that I will actually pour more drinks to Frank. Thanks, asshole. It seems as if Frank still wants to be angry at you, but he can't quite muster the energy anymore. Frank sounds like he has plenty more bitterness inside him waiting to come out. Let me tell you something else. Oh, an ear-splitting sound fills the lounge and bright flash blinds you. For a second, an irrational panic grips your dead heart. Is this sunshine? What time is it? Are you going to burn to death in the cheap motel in Queen? Did you get there at 6 a.m.? As your vision adjusts, something whizzes past you. There's a series of thunking sounds, something impacting the bar. Frank is lifting the shot glass, miraculously still in his hand. A massive blood stain spreads across his shirt. For a bizarre, incongruous moment, you stare at the thing sticking out of Frank's chest. It's a crossbow bolt. The other two lie shattered next to the bar, having missed their targets. One missed you by a hair's breadth. I'm sorry, somebody got rid of, like, the ineffectual Frank, but they completely missed us. It tells me that they were aiming for, like, the wrong person. Turning around, you see figures dressed in black tactical gear storming into the room in eerie silence. Who comes prepared with a crossbow? I killed Frank already. Killed Frank already. Okay, so let's look at this situation from the perspective of we either have federal agents or the Second Inquisition on our ass. They have crossbow bolts, seemingly to try and paralyze you. You're in full tactical gear, and they have rifles. And you're telling me that these morons did not have heat vision to check whether one of you was human. Because Frank was human, but let's say that everybody looks so human that you can't actually distinguish like a new vampire from a human. That is perfectly fine. But come on, if you're gonna come into a room bearing that much gear, you should have been very much aware that Frank was human and not launched a crossbow bolt through his heart. You're a vampire, one of the kindred. Fuck it, what's a few bullets? You'll mend. A man is lifting a rifle to shoot at you. You can't see his face through the visor of the black helmet you're wearing. The rest of the attackers are equally anonymous. 3 men and a woman looking like they were going to attack a terrorist base or a vampire nest. You run straight at them, jumping over Rancid's sofa. The man in front fires by reflex and you feel one of the bullets tear into your stomach. Oh well, nothing important there anymore. Yes! We obviously always do, especially when we're walking into a room filled with only one other person in a shabby hotel that they assumed is also a vampire. Obviously, the right instinct here is to spend the blood point. Also, you say that nothing important in your stomach, but from what I understand, you would still be using the stomach to be like absorbing said blood for a while. I mean, apparently the Zmitsi moved their organs around to make themselves more efficient at this. Either way, that is like that one organ that you actually do use. So I'm not too sure about nothing important there anymore. I'll run to the lobby. Probably gonna get the receptionist kill, but I don't want to attract the attention crashing through a window. They take care not to shoot at each other. Get used to acting as a unit. I dashed towards the receptionist desk and the receptionist's not there anymore. I get hit in the back. It hurts, but I'm exhilarated by it. I might just be a sadomasochist. Just, you know, just thought. I'm able to go on. I make it to the parking lot and there's 4 SUVs. They stare at me in surprise as I run past them. One tries to yell something as you stumble to your car, wrench the door open and turn the ignition. For a terrifying moment, you fumble with the keys, but the car starts and you floor it, careering onto the highway. As you drive away, you check your wounds. You're healing the damage you sustained, but better stop by your haven for a change of clothes before you go to see Sophie, even if you are in a hurry. I don't know, maybe... Wait, is Sophie gonna get offended that I smell like blood? You run into Sophie's building, tired and hungry from mending your body. You pound on the door of Sophie's apartment, more for the sake of your own nerves than because you think it's of any help. After a few moments, Sophie herself opens the door and looks at you in surprise. She doesn't have her makeup on, her hair is disheveled. Got her on the night off. She gets nights off! She has a schedule! She's a Torador that lets her hair go disheveled? I have so many questions. I mean, I understand not having like a fancy haircut, but let's say that I died. Okay, my haircut would be set like this. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't like use products to make it stand up like half of the Tremere do for some bizarre reason in this game, but keeping it not disheveled would be fairly easy. In general, keeping most hair not disheveled would be fairly easy. You just kind of comb it out, and if you died, you wouldn't even need to comb it out. That pain is yep, it's a good, yep, it's a, yep, you're right. What happened to you? Remnants of a party, empty glasses, a faint smell of blood in the air. It was an ambush! They were prepared, you're compromised. Oh fuck. Sit down and stay calm, I'll check whatever this apartment is still secure. For the next hour or so, you sit on Sophie's sofa answering minute questions about Frank and the commandos who assaulted you. At intervals, she makes murmuring phone calls to mysterious contacts. You should be safe, and more importantly, I should be safe too. I have taken measures to secure both of our havens, but keep your eyes open nonetheless. Fucking how? I mean, Frank knew where we lived. He left us a note, and Frank knew that somebody else was gonna be there. Right? Because Frank looked all so worried. Obviously, he knew that somebody else was gonna be there. Whoever sent Frank at Sophie's door knows where Sophie is. And considering that Frank invited you from your haven and looked super worried, whoever was commanding Frank knows where you are. What do you mean taking measures to secure both of our havens? You gave me security or what? Because at this point I would move your friggin' haven. Up, time to rest. We're completely failing to secure a meeting with the Anarchs right now. Ooh. A piece of paper sticking out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note, and a screenshot from Google Mac. It reads, meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 PM. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there. No signature. The place marked on your map is a lookout point near Pier 1, just next to Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. It's like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. That's good. Story's moving despite the fact that we really failed with that ghoul thing. You go downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. Take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out toward Manhattan. Is it true? But I do not think it is true. If I do not think it is true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then... Are you the one who left the note? Well, she looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. The ink on the paper did the message leave. The ink on the paper did your face here bring. So you got the message, a man says. What is this about? We're taking a trip, friend. The boss wants to meet you. Sorry? I'm not good with names. Kaiser is the big anarch bad, right? Torque is the small anarch bad that we kinda want to meet. I have no recollection of Callahan whatsoever. He is obviously a vampire, for I can see it through his sunglasses. Jesus Christ, your eyes are very prominent, man. Torque? What? You gotta be shitting me. Torque ain't the boss of jack shit. I mean Boss Callahan, you dumbass. Well, whoever Callahan is, I'm gonna be meeting him. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna be fighting other immortals, especially not when I ate bullets last night. This ominous music is so ominous. Put this on. He points to the cloth sack. Oh god, I put on the sack. Takes 15 or so minutes to reach your destination. 10 minutes of walking. Vincent, my dear boy, why the hood over a guest's face? Well, boss, I thought... No. That will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think. You have to listen and do what you're told, yes? Yes, boss. Well, take that ridiculous off their head, will you? Apologies for Vincent's unacceptable behavior. He can be a little thick sometimes. Isn't that right, Vincent? Yes, boss, sometimes a little. I believe you already know who I am. Is Callahan the Anarch Baron? Callahan is probably the Anarch Baron. Your boss, Callahan. Right, you are, and I'm guessing you know my role in the city. I represent the Anarch movement, while you... I'm not quite sure what you represent. I have invited you here to find out. Now let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you, truly disappointed, but I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First though, I have to make sure you understand what your infraction was, so do you know why you're here? Because I wanted to meet Torque? Ah yes, you're not stupid, so that's a nice change of pace. Torque is the reason you're here. Or that little angry strumpet of his, I'm told, yes, Mia. Oh, how I would love to get my hands on her gout neck and wring it until it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman, and that's not the prudent thing to do. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is tolerate both her and the blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. If you ask me, it all went downhill when you woman folk got voting rights. I'm sorry, how does this pertain to the Vampire Society, man? Guys? Did you also only got your voting rights in about the 1900s? Because that can't be right. Not by Vampire the Masquerade Redemption logic, at least. No, it can't be right. So how does this matter? How does this even come into the picture? Made you believe you were on the same level as us men? What a ridiculous notion that is. Dude, you're a fucking corpse. There's no sex-based role there anymore. You're a corpse. You could literally go ahead body snatch. You could be decaying right now. You could be a ghost. There's various of things. Past death, the kind of body that you wear just don't matter no more. You also look like you died in your 70s, which is nice fresh breath of air, so thumbs up for that. Two out of three answers to this is a complete insult. I would like some coffee too, please. Thank you. Oh! Ducks! Ducks! I hear ducks. But, you see, I don't actually understand that. I don't actually understand that, because if it was me, and these shoes, then whenever somebody, like, goes on this, like, stupid rant, you just go, well, that information was completely worthless, so, like, discard that, and you would proceed with the conversation as normal. Because they are an important political figure, right? The same way that a CEO is important in a company or whatever. But they're also immortal and older than you, and you're both vampires, and politics are everything. So, what you do is you listen to it, comes in through one ear, goes out the other, you continue the conversation like normal. But no, you have two provocations. And one, please just let me go! Which is not what I would use. It would just be like, yep, and this meeting, what would you like me to do? What is this, what kind of arrangement would you like to enter with me? Why am I here? Please just let me go. Oh, I will, but not just yet. I will request something from you and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First you will answer a few questions. The first question is, who pointed you to Mia? Nobody, it was my idea. Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting? I'm sorry. I wanted to fuck her. I wanted to contact Torque. I had to go through Mia. The so-called veteran loves to use petite girls to hide behind the herd. That would check out. What did you end up discussing? How does her petiteness make any kind of... I thought I was being too loud, you asshole. I thought that you're like, shh, the neighbors will come banking in. How does her petiteness make any kind of an argument here, considering that once again you're all fucking undead? What does her shape got to do with anything? Why are they trying to write him into like some sort of like anti-woman asshole when that would not make any remotest amount of sense to be as a person that's dealing with other immortals when you yourself are immortal and you're all walking corpse? I do not understand. I do not. What did you end up discussing? She wanted me to do her a favor. To grill a guy named Bruce about his master's name. Oh, is that so? Vincent, do we know this Bruce? I don't know no Bruce, boss. Why am I not surprised, Vincent? I'll investigate this myself later. See, that wasn't so guard, was it? Of course I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true and how much of it is worth about as much as yesternight's horse shit. But I'll find out, I always do. When I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks. And maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. Oh. Okay. He gives Vince a sign and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated, your nose wrecked. And we didn't even try defending ourselves? He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times and checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but just barely. How does he know if you can, though? Because, I mean, you don't even blink. I'm a man of principle. Another night I would perhaps put you in a casket, dip it in concrete and dump it into Houston. A favorite of mine during the Roaring 20s, and it's been a while. You can't break out of that. But like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, and so the interests of this city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You're forbidden to meet Torque. I will keep an eye on him. If you want a place with the Anarchs, you gotta go through me and only me. Got it? You have to understand what I made my associates do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back. Leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Ugh. Our beast is now calling for revenge. Okay. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugging victim than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi, and head back to your haven. Okay, tactical approach. You're all nice. You're all nice. You act all nice. You have nice conversations. And then just stab the person in the back because, passing taxi passing. Writing. Great writing, but yeah. You know, I don't mind his comments so much. I mind the fact that he beat me up. I would hold a grudge over this. Not just a grudge, I would hold burning hatred. I would go into the back room. Oh god, the back room of my haven? I'm thinking in real life terms. I would curse the shit out of his ass. Not everyone knows Tremere magic. But you can do a lot with human magic. I would curse the shit out of his ass. Oh, wait there, you're tempted by the beast. Your driver, a 30-something with a strong Slavic accent and an unpronounceable name on his ID, keeps asking if he should drive you to the hospital. What's a strong Slavic accent? People dealing with visual novels, do you know what kind of big of a group Slavs are? Do you know that we have several language families that have nothing to do with one another? If anyone's gonna curse you, it's not gonna be me. I don't know actually, if you show up by my door and beat me to a pulp, then yeah, that would be me, but don't you do that, no. What's a slap? Compare Polish to Russian to Lithuanian and tell me A, whether the accents have anything in common, and tell me B, whether the languages have anything in common. The answer to both of them is absolutely no. Who wrote this? Then again, actually, it's okay. It's okay, this is New York. We're Venture Girl. We probably only know English. We're American. Makes sense that we can't distinguish accents. Probably we'll look at a Slavic person and go, are you Canadian? Unpronounceable name on his ID. He probably introduced himself. You keep declining, all the while thinking that if only ask him to pull over for 5 minutes, you could feast on his warm blood to the beast's content. Drink him whole, nobody would know. Nobody but his wife and kids if he asked them. Nobody but his boss and co-workers. Nobody but you as you look in the mirror tomorrow. Keeping your hunger at bay was never before as difficult as it is tonight. Well, I mean, the night before, we literally took multiple bullets to our ass, so, yep. Yeah. Well, he stopped at our apartment. Nobody's looking. We do need blood. The driver opens the door for you, asks if you're alright. His words change to a muffled shout. He goes silent. You think he tastes great. As great as a tired caffeine-pumped taxi driver with high cholesterol can taste. Oh no, 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 no! We might die of heart disease. That's bad. Warm blood pours down your throat and flows to your limbs, mending them. It's growing cold, but you still do not have control. You're still observing, not acting. Your body is not yours. The beast is in charge. Forgetting the control. That's enough. No, it's not. I said that's enough. It will never be enough. Enough! Break away from the man. He's dazed but conscious. He groggily says something about feeling tired. You leave the money on his driver's seat and let him rest in the back. Ah! Okay, that episode went okay. That episode went okay. He's still alive. Still fine. You know, I was just thinking that, I like being a pacifist, but if I was dead and I needed to eat, I can't say that I would have as much humanity as this girl does. Can't say that I would care, honestly, all that much. I mean, I would probably go after more assholes than poor taxi drivers, but... Also, another thing, they always go, don't drop your humanity, because you're gonna turn into a wraith as you go insane. Because some people are on the path of metamorphosis, for example, which is like the opposite of a path of humanity. And there are more paths than that. It seems that the only thing that can cause wraithhood is you yourself convincing yourself that you're an absolutely horrible, horrible, horrible beast/person. And that you don't deserve to be there. So effectively, as long as you take care of your mental health, you're gonna be fine. Effectively, the game is just telling you, don't go batshit crazy. And I don't think that has anything to do with humanity. I think you could discard humanity and not be batshit crazy. So I can't really say that I would be this human. The 4 familiar walls you have are a blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you're reined it in tonight. Not a small feat, given your state. You're still weak. You're still not quite mended. You need to rest. Tomorrow you will have to feed again. Tomorrow you will have to consider your next move. Callaghan is not the kind of man who quits, but tonight you rest. Have we considered telling this to Sophie? Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you're pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. Comes with a caveat though, the hunger you feel is pronounced, the beast-like black dog on the edge of your vision following you. What is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone and unknown numbers calling the phone you got from Mia you pick up. Kept that old thing charged after all, are you alright? I feel like shit. Look, that's too bad, but I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Torque has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in Bronx, solid stripes, but there tonight. But two things. No drinking on the premises. So if you want to go grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the borough. This is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening and also don't trust you, so keep it casual or you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add? Callaghan forbade me from meeting Torque. I met Callaghan yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbid me from meeting Torque. I'm not sure I should be there tonight. Fuck. Can't promise you any protection on your way there or back, but at the pub you'll be in Torque's domain. For all his posturing, Callaghan doesn't have the balls to strike Torque directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callaghan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I gotta say is the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I won't blame you, but it's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight. It's better be in good faith. Up, I think we are meeting him, because we are already going. First things first, you take the subway to York Street Station, walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving to your haven. I'm gonna trust my intuition. And, with blood. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems and in the cloak and dagger the battle. You're now proud of that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. It's minutes after you find your victim, coax them and drink from them, you find you've forgotten the face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once you look at yourself in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. To be fair, not exactly pain, is it? But me would actually find this a lot worse. It's one thing if you actually hurt somebody. It's another thing if you kinda fuck them and move on. Because that's effectively what you're doing, except also taking away their memory. In my opinion, pain's better. Pain is better. I couldn't do it, what they're doing here. Like, if it was me. It reminds me of one tabletop that I was watching, where a player asked, could instead of drinking directly from a person, because they were they were a La Sombra that got used to eating off blood packs, and they had quite a bit because they had quite a rich lifestyle and they needed to eat from a person, and they had a metal straw, and they asked could they instead stick the metal straw into the person and drink like that, and their coterie called them absolutely batshit insane. But I can actually understand that approach. Strawing somebody is kind of better than intimacy, okay? I would straw somebody too. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down the spiral. It's a nice spiral though, feel free to slide. Instead of clearing your mind, this clouded it further, and you are still no closer than a decision. I'll just go to a meeting. I'm just gonna get it over with. I like the blood moon. Kindred, for the most part, look no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. Only while they're young. But apparently majority of people die before they get older. Apparently you get whiter as you get older. That's some commitment to spray paint that. I mean, that's pretty high up. That's even higher. If you're being followed or watched, it's gonna be hard to tell. Or you can, like, take note of anything that's trying to watch you. Oh, nothing suspicious, so let's just get in here. Doesn't look vampiric. Wondering if their dress is right, and apparently it is. Took your sweet time to get here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you? I don't know, maybe. I had a look around and it seemed clear enough. You're not the best person to judge that, then. Well, lookout let me know you were coming a few minutes ago. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You should know it's Torque who wanted to meet you. I was against it. You proved pretty useless with Bruce. Carol, the bartender, mentioned that you made an effort, though, so that's that, I guess. Here's your second chance at a first impression. Don't waste this time or I'll kick you out myself. Hey there. Be with you in a moment. Aw, Torque looks awesome. That's that. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You wanna pay up now or up the stakes again? Oh, he's gambling big. To the victor go the spoils. Thank you kindly. Name's Torque. I believe your corpse. Sophie Langley's new plaything. Is that right? How does everybody always know that? Word travels fast. When you care to listen, fledgling, we wouldn't be talking tonight if I hadn't learned that long time ago. Forgive my being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know what it is I'm dealing with. So here's something that I've been scratching my head about. You're with Langley, and Langley's cam through and through. I'm told what it is you came to accomplish here tonight. Sophie wants to meet with you. I'm always just the messenger. Gonna be straight. That TV literally has one picture frozen on it. That's really weird. Don't ask me why she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange that meeting. The fuck? I know nothing about this. TD lied to me. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well. Ain't that an interesting proposition? You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline cam. It's a trap. It must be. It just might be. It just might. Ooh, he pierces me with his eyes. Also, how can you say that Kindred look exactly like humans when his eyes are shiny? Hey Torque, you got a guest. They're in the back. Yeah, won't you be there and keep our friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Gotta be quite happy with yourself bluffing your way in here. It's not just Sophie I'm here for. Might have started a task from Sophie, but I'm glad I could meet you on Torque. Don't hold it against me. No, I'm totally gonna hold it against you for a while. You made me look like a chump in front of Torque. I was beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. That's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Corp, get over here too. Motherfuckers, you're gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is going to fuck you up so hard you have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Corp? I have a score to settle. Oh, I get to beat him up! You're fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it. You stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf. Go fuck yourself, you're done. The boss will know the stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows you're flirting with Langley. You know what that means, Torque. No, I don't. What does that mean, Bruce? Vince, I'm sorry, Vince. I thought that I was speaking with Bruce Vane for a second, I suppose. No, this is Vince, not Bruce. And now the boss can wipe you out. You just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all those buddies of yours gone. You're done, Torque. Well now, if that's the case, I guess riding New York of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, that's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Corp? You want to repay the favor? Well, gladly. Go right ahead. Let me hurt Vince a lot. Yeah! It's not Callahan, but... Get Vince. Once, twice. He's chuckling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph and keep hitting him again more until he stops laughing. He's bruised, battered, and broken. The two Anarch dudes let go of him, and you kick him some more while he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Torque's voice. Enough's enough, Corp. He takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee. Stake him and take him downstairs. Let's keep Callahan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. Oof. Mia takes a sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. The other two Anarchs take him out of the room. I don't actually understand staking doing anything to World of Darkness vampires because their hearts don't beat. I can understand how it would stop you from doing anything if your heart beat. And you were reliant on the fact that your heart beat, but when you're not then again religious symbols hurt them, and that's entirely another thing. Entirely another thing. And I suppose if you charge the religious symbol with intent, okay, but then Valley are just hurt by the existence of religious symbols of any kind. It's why am I asking for logic from mythology? I don't know. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callahan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out Corp? It was second Inquisition effort here in New York, a single night of raids at magnitude never seen before or since. The Everett Tower got away with just a few losses here and there, no major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Us, though, we got hit hard, all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece. Others like my child Barb, or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Halligan. We thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B managed to excuse himself from the Stahan Island Museum where we used to meet just before vans full of guys in body armor show up? How is it that as my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds, I also see Doug Callaghan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the ESI. I think that the bastard knew what was coming and he set us up. Not just us, some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in the city's slick population. The moral of the story, Callaghan's an opportunistic motherfucker, and if even his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell me out, then that's what he's gonna do as sure as the sun rises. You said something about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault in part that I'm in this juncture, but now's going to be a good time as any to listen to what she has to say. Don't think that's wise, T. Well, what would you have me do then? You said it yourself, it's all the fledglings' fault. They brought this on us, so let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callaghan wants them, Langley wants them. They're valuable. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me there. Plausible deniability and all that. I'm expendable. Oof. The realization that you just summarized the entirety of the last 2 weeks or so hits you hard, but if was a moment to be honest with yourself, it's now. Fuck. We're afraid, Corp. But then what else is new? It's a paradox being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunted the other. Masters of the night, slaves to dawn, a duality to everything. I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Guys, just move out! You're all screwing yourselves over by dancing to politics. Just uproot, move as far away from everything as possible. Find a nice little community, settle down, and you're gonna be fine. I swear, if in Call of Cthulhu, there can be strange things that tend to happen in fisher towns all around England, mostly populated by friggin' squid people, then surely, strange things can happen in 1 or 2 small towns and nobody will find it that weird. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up personally and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting. The 2 of you, the 2 of us, nobody else. And third, the meeting is in public. Downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. Once you take us anywhere fishy, we check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that, though. You seem likable enough. The camp hasn't gotten its talents into you yet. Keep it up and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. Yeah, my conclusion is why the hell are we in New York? That's my conclusion. I'm pretty confident in this conclusion, honestly. I'll repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best be on your way. Ask for me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Listen about what I said before. Yeah, what about it? I panicked, that's all it was. It was unfair what I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself and that makes me angry with you. Forget it. See ya. Oh. Mia's a nice girl. I mean, these anarchs are kinda nice, yo. They all even had, like, sires that they liked. That just kinda got inquisitioned. But these anarchs are nice, yo. That makes a difference. Does. Good evening, Corp. How's your task going? You have something for me perhaps? It's done, but cost me dearly. Kill you? Who? Slow down. Tell me what happened. Callaghan's goon threatened Torque. During my meeting with Torque, the same guy who beat me up yesterday, Vince, showed up. I did not actually explain to her that a guy named Vince beat me up to begin with. He's Callaghan's goon. We have to assume he knows that I met Torque. Well, that just means we have to bring the plan to a close, and that's... Thanks to your good timing, we're just a day away from that. Well, let's hear it. What did Torque agree to? Well, I relay the message. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about that Mia character. Tell me, what do you think she's trustworthy? Torque trusts her. Very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yards. The Vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight... Yes, bring them tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. I don't actually want to ask any of these things. Will they agree to meeting in the city? They did ask me to pick the spot, did they not? It's public and in the open. They should love it. Pick them up at midnight and drive them back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes within reason. Counting on you, Corp. Final puzzle piece is about to find its way to its destination. After that, we will get all of our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Whatever the heck you're going about, lady. A figure of speech, darling. At least it is tonight. But a few nights from you, who knows? I'm growing fond of you, and success won my appetite for these kind of things. Ooh. You're flirting now, eh? The sexual tension in the room becomes unbearable. Until it suddenly disappears. Was that one of Sophie's tricks or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? I did not need to read that. I did not want to know that. I did not want to read that. I did not need it to do either of these things. Why? Why would you write this? Oh God, no! The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Use the rest of the night's well, Corp, and rest. We are but a day's sleep away from shaking the city awake. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. It's kind of late in this story to be meeting one of these two, so we're just gonna do a second meeting with the priest guy, even though I don't really like him. Thank you for raiding me with a party of 27, Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna call you Necromancer. Thank you for following. An enormous door slamming, thank you for following me. Hello. Ooh, yeah. I don't know where are you from, guys, but thank you for raiding me and thank you for coming over. Murta has decided to read some visual stories. New follower. Aw, thank you, V. That's very nice of you. And I actually have part 2 of this visual story novel series thing, which is called Shadows of New York, that I kind of want to read too. Wow, that's a lot of you guys. Thank you. Thank you all. But yeah, because the nights are kind of dawning to a point where we're getting to the last bit, I thought I'm not gonna start the other 2 people that you can recruit as your followers. I'm just gonna go with Faith and Myth, even though I didn't really like Faith and Myth because he's kind of... you're just kind of discussing religion in front of a cathedral, but I suppose I'm gonna discuss some religion in front of a cathedral. Oh, yeah. I saw it. I saw it, but the reason why I have Shadows of New York right now is because it appeared in the Humble Bundle. And what I did actually was I have a classic plan and I had it on pause for a while, so I specifically paused it again in order for the Humble Bundle to suggest me a $4 discount, so technically I got Shadows of New York and all of the other games for $8 in total. So I was like, yay! Shadows of New York! I also heard that Night Road is like really good, but Night Road has no sound and no visuals. So if I was ever to read Night Road, I have a feeling that I would need to find some copyright-free ASMR music. And I used freaking Chantry ASMR sounds for my today's video, and it didn't get copy striked on YouTube, so that's probably safe, though listening to a Chantry while reading the Night Road might just be really bizarre. Ooh. Yeah, I might take you up on that suggestion. I might take you up on that suggestion. But first I'm gonna be finishing this, and then I have the other bit. This is me tabbing out to always read Shadows of New York because I forget what these things are called for some bizarre reason. Yeah, I saw Heart of the Forest. It looks pretty. I'm kind of interested in the upcoming Werewolf the Apocalypse game, so Heart of the Forest would kind of fit the theme. Though I don't like Epic Game Store, so I'm probably waiting on that one. But Heart of the Forest is on Steam, so there's that. You started to look at churches differently since your last encounter with Benoit. Sorry, I'm not French. I will always read it as Benoit. I mean, even Lacroix said that he's Lacroix. He didn't go Lacroix. Lacroix. Benoit. Yeah, good old Benoit. I heard that it's under good developers. They made sticks, so Werewolf the Apocalypse, the next game, should be good. But I don't use the Epic Game Store. I don't blame you. I don't like Benoit as well. I don't want to start people meeting new people when we're apparently that close to the end. You're not sure what happened inside, but it was unavoidably real. You felt it when Benoit mentioned that being in the presence of Father Anthony's faith would eventually kill someone like you, an undead being. You believed him. Eventually. Years of exposure, apparently. Just kind of circle around priest, and if you just circle him around for long enough, you might die. It doesn't seem to be very common, though. In New York, you pass thousands of people every night, and none of them have made you feel afraid or insignificant. Welcome to the age of not really having true religious belief. Yeah, the Earthblood one. That's the newest one that's being developed right now. I kind of have good hopes for it as well. But it's only releasing on Epic Game Store. I kind of hope that maybe it will come to Xbox Game Pass. Or as a standalone on its own somewhere. Or on GOG. I'll take anything. If you were to encounter someone like Father Anthony in the subway or nightclub, you would know. Okay, priests do take subways, but I'm sorry, Father Anthony in the nightclub, he just doesn't strike me like a nightclub kind of guy. I'm less religious than any Father Anthony's, and I have never been in a nightclub. There are many churches in the 5 boroughs, and you're pretty sure most of them don't contain someone whose faith can touch you in this way. Yet you become wary. They just might. Well, in that case, enter the church. Feel the priest. Nope, right out of there. It's not like you burst into the flames and die on the spot. You don't. You can check them out. It's okay. Still tonight, the cathedral looks as before, a striking landmark acting as a symbol of faith for people who have no idea that vampires exist in their midst. For them, questions of faith and myth are rhetorical or philosophical. For you, those same questions suddenly define the meaning of your new existence. You sneak into the cathedral like an old hand, as if going to church had been a regular part of your life. Why? Why are we... Well... Do we just like getting hurt by priests? Or did Benoit ask us to go through a church again? I don't... Why would we slip in there? Inside, the cathedral is almost deserted. You're not sure you'll be meeting Benoit alone. The idea of feeling Father Anthony's faith on your undead flesh freezes you with terror. Yet you are here, my lady friend. Benoit is waiting for you at the front pews of the cathedral in the exact same spot where you saw Father Anthony. Okay, he is here. That's good. Worried you approach, but you don't feel the touch of faith that shook you before. Benoit nods as you sit next to him in the pew. Aren't you worried? Aren't you worried about meeting here? What if your friend the priest returns? Don't worry, he's not here tonight. You had some time to think. I'm guessing you found the touch of Father Anthony's faith hard to ignore. We all just really want to get touched by Father Anthony in here. Hi, Cat. Bye, Cat. I can't wait until I move next month. Hopefully next month. The internet is being put into the new place on the 11th, so hopefully we can also move. And I have a table that doesn't rattle, rattle, rattle every single time when a cat runs through. For most people, God's presence is a question of faith. When I talk with Father Anthony, it feels like proof. So going by World of Darkness standard, right? Any highly charged religious symbol can hurt you. Power of intent. You can... Going by real-life human standards, real-life witchcraft human standards, you can charge sigils or anything that you feel like with anything that you want through sheer determination alone. Meaning anything can be a religious symbol. The reason why religious symbols would have such a great hold on vampires would be because you truly are believe in what you are wearing. Now, knowing that that is the belief that causes the pain, you could take this nice little necklace of Alice to Wonderland's rabbit and charge it with faith of God itself. If you felt like it, because once again, any religious symbol works. Any religious symbol works. Not all religions pray to the same God. Not all religions pray to the same God at all. So, how would you determine that this is proof of God and proof of Christianity if not all religions pray to the same God? The entry, from what I read, right? Bali are hurt by everything because they're the devil kindred, right? Bali are hurt by everything, no matter the belief. With every other kindred, you just need somebody that has a real, pure belief. Faith is powerful. Yeah. It's the belief that makes it. So, knowing what I know, I couldn't really answer religious questions in that universe really well, because to me this isn't a proof of God, right? Because it's the true belief that hurts. And you can have true belief in any religious symbol. I don't actually know what this is kindred culture mean. So I'm just gonna say this is kindred culture. Even if we don't believe this is kindred culture, our shared stories about where we came from, right? That's one way to look at it. All religions can be reduced to cultural myths if you're so inclined. Personally, I think reality of our condition proves that this is more than a myth. I really want to hurt Benoit with a fork right now. I want to do my witchy goodness. Declare fork the symbol of, I don't know, Poseidon. Declare that I have true belief in Poseidon. Spend time worshipping it. Charge it. And come at Benoit with a fork. Well, the entry, think of it this way. I never actually got to play a Vampire the Masquerade tabletop game. I really liked Bloodlines as a game to a point where I played far too much of it. I played Redemption once. I enjoy reading about it. Actually, subscriptions, come on, YouTube. Come on. Yeah, I was gonna make a video on this guy in general. But now's as good time as ever. This is Lore by Night. He only has 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. He is pretending to be a, Nosferatu. I want to say it's Scylla. He might be an elder, but he's pretending to be a knowledgeable Nosferatu. And he actually makes really good videos on World of Darkness lore. I highly recommend this dude. I suppose I inherited a personal dislike to Outstar because I made a few videos that are kind of critical on World of Darkness and stuff, and I listen to her on the official World of Darkness channel. She does a lot of interviews. I find interviews to be hard to sit through because oftentimes it's talking about things that don't matter all that much. But yeah. He is great. I definitely recommend him. I listen to him during my work hours. And I read wiki. I read a wiki page about bloodline that decays today, and that really weirded me out. And yes, true faith in anything. Yeah, Samedi. I read about Samedi today. I wanted to figure out how long will a Samedi exist for, because there was this whole big talk about the fact that they're good with death, and about the fact that they're good with their own mortality, and the fact that they're decaying, and the fact that they don't last for forever. But then, they're barren. The one that they supposedly come from, he's quite old. And his children are like over 300 years old. And some of them are like with the ministry, and the ones that are like with the specific type of ministry managed to stop their issue of decaying. So reading about it just kind of confused me, because I was like, okay, that's cool. It is cool. Their bloodline's cool. But apparently they're supposed to like decay to death at some point, but if one of them is that old, do they? Do they actually decay to death? Yeah, Hildegin's my husband. And I was trying to convince people to play World of Darkness with me. If I could get people to play with me, I would probably either end up streaming or recording the games as long as the table's okay. And I know that other people would be absolutely definitely no cam. And I would need to probably mute myself to talk with stream chat in the middle of it. But yeah, that's a thing. And that's a thing that I would do because it sounds fun. I don't know how far that would go. All of the D&D campaigns that we went through kind of just fizzled out in the middle, but that's how tabletops tend to go. It might seem like ancient history, things that happened thousands of years ago, but time works differently for our kind. The Benoit, you're like probably not old. You're probably definitely not old. If the stories are true, then Methuselah's still in existence who walked the earth when Jesus was alive. Benoit, I find you insufferable. I do. Because something made the decision in World of Darkness lore that the fact that the Kindred not only believe in young Earth in the Bible, but the fact that their creation story is actually true, and that doesn't really sit too well with me, because then we would have to go with the whole biblical Noah's Ark thing and everything, and that's just that kind of, no offense Christians, but that kind of, the world of the young Earth and the world of Noah's Ark just does not compute with me. And I believe, or I practice, or I try a lot of really weird stuff, so it is okay if people disagree with me on this, but the fact that this universe internalized these mythos to a point where they go, yep, that would definitely be true, it's kinda, Yeah, but you filled the whole world with water. That's a lot of water! The only problem is that old vampires lie. They adjust history to suit their egos. Ah yes, Sateth. Yeah, literally all like humans drown and vampires are just like, water! Huh. Oh, I guess I'm just gonna stay in this underwater cave for 40 days and nights and just gonna come out when the earth is dry again. You can talk to different elders, I suppose. I don't... That proposition is actually not a good one, because we consider an elder anyone that's over 300 years old, right? We have this very weird system where it's like, between fledgling and neonate is a questionable amount of time. It's supposed to be whenever you can act on your own and you're not completely dependent on your sire, so that can be a week, that can be a month, that can be a year, and everybody seems to use these two interchangeably. Ancilla is like 150-ish? Elder is 300. And then it stops. Until you reach Antediluvians, which is anyone before Christ. But now here's another thing with Young Earth. I'm pretty sure that trying to remember their name. Yeah, some old clan Tizmitzi. Some of their antediluvians are like over 8,000 years old. Young Earth would only be about 6,000 years. That's not quite Young Earth, but I might be misremembering things as well. You believe 250 plus. I think I read 300 somewhere, but yeah, it's close. But that means that we have a great gap between 300 plus and 8,000, okay? We have a great gap between 300 plus and 2,000 even. Ah yes, fish blood, the best. So we're like, go and speak with somebody that's like 300 plus years old, and this guy was turning like 1600s, and he's all like, I have no idea what the shit you're talking about, Jesus, who? Fair enough. Fair enough. 200, I'm gonna trust you on this. It's just not that old, man. It's not that old. They're not very forthcoming, unfortunately. We're left to piece these stories together on our own. Well, yeah, because if I was like from 1500s, 1600s, and you came to me asking about what kind of man Jesus was, I would also be like, I have literally not the freaking shittiest shit what you're talking about. I saw no Jesus, I interacted with no Jesus. I was probably a Christian considering that we're in Western Europe, but no. Okay, would you like to travel to Eastern Europe and meet the old clan Tizmitzi, because they're apparently quite old and they're stuck in their ways, but they're apparently quite hospitable as well, because if you're gonna follow their customs, they will house you for 3 days. You can probably question them. All you have to do is get through a continent. You'll be fine. Oh. Okay. I swear I read a line at some point that antediluvians are anyone that's 2,000 years old and less. I suppose it can be just the original clan as well. And Giovanni wasn't like one of the original ones. He drank one of them up. So he kind of got turned, and then he kind of betrayed. These backstabbing motherfuckers. They're just. I swear, everybody's wasting their mortality just like doing this stupid dance, and there's a few people that are not doing it. And actually, anyone that's super old is no longer doing it. Tremere is just a really weird clan, man. just a very weird clan. I mean, I feel really bad for Salubri. Salubri were nice. I feel really bad for Salubri. Kinda got hunted to... I mean, they're coming back now, but because they tend to, like, diablerize their sires as, like, a normal thing. They don't really go up and down generations, and they would be starting at a very high generation, which is... I have an issue with V5 there. I have an issue with V5 about that. Salubri were just nice. Thing is, he accidentally turned himself into a vampire that had, like, no powers whatsoever. I don't know how the bloody Tremere convinced his 7 peers that he should be in charge in that room. And blood bonded all of them. Because, I mean, at that point, they were all equal. Nice that they didn't kill Gothics on the spot. Because that's not what they intended to do. Then their shitty-ass motherfuckers decided to be turning Dismitzi and Gangrel into gargoyles. I would have never forgiven about that. Then they decided to spread propaganda about Salubri after eating their starting member in order to become a legitimate clan. And stupid princes are like, yep, magic means better than healing. We want destructive magic over healing. We'll go with destructive magic. Yeah, Garthix! There we go. I kept on calling him Guthrix. I don't know why. And then they decided to build a pyramid of power structures. At the very least, they stayed really, really stable until they didn't anymore. But there's rumors that the original Tremere is walking in Garthrix's body while Garthrix is trapped inside a mirror. While the original Tremere's body was controlled by the Salubri Antediluvian the whole time. In which case, what the fuck? They have their own thing going on. They have like a full-on their own thing going on. And considering that their clan weakness was changed to the fact that they can't blood bond anyone, how are they keeping their clan together? That was like their whole thing. Yeah, they would be at least a few thousand years old. Literally, I feel like Googling frickin' old clan is me see antediluvian. Dismitzi antediluvian. Embraced 8,000 years before BCE. So the Dismitzi Antediluvian would be like 10,000 years old. 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 Yeah, I know. Here's like a link to anyone that's wondering about that. I have never read Beckett's Diaries. I would actually kind of like to read Beckett's Diaries, but you can't really get your hands on that book without actually buying it, and currently I am only buying important books. But I kinda would like to study Old Clan Dismitzi because I find them interesting. Well, thank you for dropping by, Evanhart. We're all just World of Darkness nerds, so we do this. I am a World of Darkness nerd, actually. Yep. Have a nice rest of your night as well. It's nearly 4 AM here, but well, it's 3:30, but I have nowhere to be tomorrow, so we're continuing for now. We're not very forthcoming, unfortunately. We'll have to piece these stories together on our own. This is how the story goes. God cursed Cain as punishment for the murder of Abel. Cain walked the night, shunned by humanity, and drank blood to sustain himself. Even from the point of our origin, we are damned. However, the story becomes really interesting when we move forward. Cain creates more of our kind, often referred to the second generation. He lived in the first city, later called Enoch, ruling openly over the city's human inhabitants. Are you trying to tell me the exact same lore that Bloodlines did? Because I think you are. I see the first city as Cain's redemption. Cursed by God to wander, he remade himself as a ruler and lawgiver, acting as an immortal shepherd to humanity. It only started to go wrong when the second generation began. The third generation, vampires started to run amok. I am a massive nerd as well. But for the longest time, I didn't know more than just Bloodlines, the RPG Bloodlines. Because I grew up with it. I didn't, grow up with World of Darkness in itself. But, I have this obsession with any worlds that really strike my fancy, and World of Darkness does, so I kind of really like learning tidbits about it. But there's a lot of lore. There's a lot of lore. And yeah, apparently Cain tried to stop anybody from turning anyone else. He looked at the second generation and was like, no more vampires. And the second looked at the third and was like, no more vampires. And the third turned around and diablerized majority of the second generation, going, fuck you, and then ran off. So that's the short of it. What happened to the first city? Yeah, there's a lot of lore. I know. I'm literally getting bits and pieces from Wiki and from these visual novels. And from our nice Mr. YouTube guy. I like the nice Mr. YouTube guy. I really do like nice Mr. YouTube guy. What happened to the first city? It was lost in the deluge. Noah had his ark to save him, but our kind had to rely on our gifts of blood. Ah! The flood. Apparently, Noah was the lucky man, the human, with the friggin' boat. When vampires can't just bury themselves in the friggin' dirt and sleep for a bit and be fine. If you're skeptical about this piece of history, remember that even a local flood can bring massive destruction. Yeah, but flooding the whole world. Vampire Mole Clan. The flood is coming. I must dig. Dig, dog. It can't be local though, because at least one of the antediluvians went to the east. I think it was actually the Salubri one. He went to the east to learn things. And the East didn't remember him very well because they said that because he has the eye, he is a liar. He can't be one of the kindred. He is a liar. Oh god. Moonwater. After the first city, Cain largely departs the story. Perhaps he was disheartened by the deprecations of his descendants. The antediluvians went on to build the second city in its imitation of the first, but it's doubtful their rule was just. Or that anybody wanted to live in that second city, because now apparently the only people that should be alive besides the antediluvians is Noah and his inbred family. And Cain is apparently... Cain might be very much be a taxi driver currently because he seems to enjoy that sort of thing. So Cain did the right thing. He played it smooth. He just kinda went with the flow, never doing this politics bullshit. wheelchair. What alarms you more is that you overhear an older woman speaking with a Russian accent mention Father Anthony. Let's find Father Anthony and see if he can help us. From what I've heard, he's an exceptional man. If she has a Russian... Is she not speaking to other Russians? Why would she be Who is she speaking to? Why is she speaking in English? Yes, that Noah. Yeah, exceptional, but he doesn't like moles. We're only interested in whether he likes blank bodies. You won't like gangrels. We're blank bodies. I have seen some of the people that make World of Darkness lore do some games, right? Blank bodies is how People Inquisition refer to vampires. Yet. You and Benoit look at each other. This is bad news. Whoever these three are, they can't be good for you. We need to get out. Let's meet outside. Walk out right past the mortals. Pretend to be mortal is second nature to all vampires, at least it should be. Besides, not long ago, you were a perfectly ordinary human. You adopt the oblivious smile of someone who doesn't suspect that anything might be amiss in God's house and take a few steps towards the aisle. Now that you get a better look at them, the three mortals approaching you have an aura of experience around them. They look like they've seen a thing or two and emerged alive. Both men have the stubbles and overgrown haircuts of those whose lives are consumed by an obsession. I'm sorry. That can't be right. If your life is consumed by an obsession, may I recommend bald head? Religious people do it. Easier to take care of. Don't have to think about it. I would live for that image. Hitman in the house. The woman looks at you casually, then stares. She has a grey quilt on her knees. You never met a mortal who knew how to deal with World of Kindred. Something tells you these three just might. Panicking, you turn around and start walking briskly towards the other side of the cathedral away from the three. Yeah, don't... That's not suspicious at all. That's not suspicious. I hope you were breathing. You know, that's another thing. They don't need to breathe, so most of the time they don't. I hope that whenever they try and pass for a human while walking past hunters, they do actually imitate breathing, because if you don't, then God help you. But I mean, you already have changed your direction after looking at the woman, so they know, they definitely know. You don't want to attract the attention to yourself, well you just did, so you pick up a brochure detailing how you can donate money to the cathedral. You pretend to study the leaflet and hope that the three turn their attention away from you. The wait seems interminable, but you know that you can't appear hurried. Be casual and you'll make it out. After a while, you sneak a glance and see that the three of them were where you were just a short while ago around the front pew. Discreetly, you took away the brochure and strolled casually down the side aisle towards the exit. That was a close call. Fuck you, Benoit! First time I meet you and there's the priest. Now we're almost get busted by whoever these three were. I'm off. Benoit calls after you. At least this wasn't my intention. Come back! I really don't want to see Benoit again. I have questions, but I don't even have questions. I wanted to pass some of the night, okay? I had like some free night, I wanted to pass it, that is all. I just wanted to waste time. You wake up! Really ominously. This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms. You find that they're tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit us. It's a casket, isn't it? This is a coffin. Vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from the outside, and it's entirely dark. Was it Callaghan? Did he dip us in concrete and throw us off? You kick the front of the container. The only reaction is a dull metallic sound. You try using your fists, but there's just not enough room to get a good punch in. It seems pretty hopeless. Some more tries, nothing. This is bad. Suddenly the containers moved slightly. A moment of silence. An indistinct male voice shouting. A muffled shot. Silence again. The lid comes up. What the? Oh. Thank you. You're here, that's a relief. Oh, thank you! You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us, that asshole over there. Follow us in quick. Ah yes, the man who's obviously not Thor. Seeing their faces is surprising, even more so in these circumstances. However, you realize the immediate danger and follow your companions out of the car and down the street in North Bronx. No! She made... Yep, that was a Skyrim reference. I actually wanna Let's Play Skyrim at some point on this Twitch channel because... Yep, Skyrim. The van has crashed into another car. A familiar face, that of Kaiser's ghoul, Jackie, stumbles out of wrecked sedan and slinks away into the darkness before you can call after him. The three of you jog away toward the inline of the trees and take shelter under some branches just as you hear a chopper approaching. Its searchlight illuminates the wrecked van and moves towards you. Get on the ground. Hagathon takes something out of his pocket. You hear a soft creaking sound and then he just disappears from sight. Oh, I know that he's not abandoning me because he was very nice and saved me from being coffined. But he just obfuscated alone and... can't you just obfuscate with me? You look to Hope, but she's not there. You haven't seen any movement. Just the tree she leaned against a scant few seconds ago. You're left alone with just seconds to make your move before the spotlight finds you. Under the bush I go! Seeing no better option, you find the nearest bush and dive right under it. It's probably not the best or smartest thing to do, but you have to trust your gut. Illumination passes only inches away from you, but it's just a pattern of light on the ground. The trees block a good portion of it. It doesn't dwell on you. Doesn't seem like they spotted you or any of your companions. The helicopter flies on, its searchlight frantically moving through the vicinity as your companions once again appear in our proximity. They have an opening. Let's go before the side decides they want to do another sweep. What are you two doing here? Hope, care to fill them in? Your life up to this point? Everything you knew? It was highly advanced VR simulation. Welcome to the real world. What? No, actually, SI first light in this case, I think, raided your haven and took you in. They were just transporting you out of town. Kaiser told us which route they would take. Kaiser organized this, why? In this city, if Kaiserino finds somebody who's about to die useful, they simply don't die, Marone. Yes, you've kept yourself useful, so good work and keep it, eh? Speaking of which, come on. Kaiser familiar car stops nearby and the back door opens. Your allies usher you inside and join you. Being inside this mobile fortress never felt like a relief until now. Hey, fledgling, miss me? He was a total asshole, but I can respect him. You know, I like the Nosferatu asshole more than I like the whole of the other court. The whole of the court. Yeah, actually I did. Aw, that's so sweet. I hate to break it to you, but I didn't take a sudden liking to you. I'm here on business. You're here now only because I told your buddies that you were neck deep in shit. The van you were in, a one-way ticket to Hurtville, Pennsylvania. I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me big. What's so funny, Jester? Hurtville? Pennsylvania? What, you like it? Yeah, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is there an Usenet where you workshop these bits with other ancient demons? Can I get in? Ageists come! Everyone's a critic. Why didn't I wake up earlier? The Inquisition aren't dumb. They broke into your place in the middle of the day and staked you as soon as they saw you, paralyzed. Brought you to the cloisters and examined you a bit. If you're walking funny, that's why. Hope it's just my legs. Lucky for you, I had an inside man loosen the stake a bit before they packed you in. I have a good idea of why the SI hit you, Corp. Not that there aren't tons of good reasons for it. Might be one of those, for instance. Screens in Kaiser's car flicker, and each of them shows a short looped clip. It's you getting into a fight, feeding, using one of your powers. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, fledgling. I get it, you're new to this, you didn't know better, yada yada yada. The fact is, the SI has tons of this stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers. Social media posts from victims. We were that bad. Like I said, though, I don't think any one of these did you in. Slip-ups happen. The reason I need you walking and talking, Corp, is to test a hypothesis of mine. For that, I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. So first things first, here. Phone, who's this? It's me, Sophie. Corp, are you okay? They're fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone your protege is using, so keep it snappy. Operating a secure network ain't cheap. Come on, Corp, spit it out. Kaiser saved me from SI. Only got out because of him. That's true. Aww. Our companions dislike this. SI, that's what I feared. Listen, the plan. We need to do it tonight. But if the Inquisition is involved and broke out, they'll be looking for you, so we can't meet in public. I have a place in mind. But Kaiser, are you still listening? Would I tell you if I wasn't? Corp, call this number from where you visited before last we spoke. I'll come pick you up. And that's that. Well, Corp, care to elaborate? Is this my chance to prove myself? No need to answer that riddle. I think I've almost arrived at the answer. Sorry to spoil the fun, but I'll answer that particular riddle momentarily. Don't worry, doll. I can throw a few other ones your way after our mutual acquaintance continues with their night. My intel is worth a damn. Your next stop, Corp, is right about here. Well, you need me to kick you out? What about my companions? What about them? They're staying right here. They are, and we're going to have a little chat. After we're done, I'm sure they'll find their way back to their havens just fine. The clock is ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants to do tonight, and if I'm right, tonight's the last chance you got. So you want to say bye to your buddies before you go? That's fine by me, but that schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so you better do it now or scram. I'll thank them! I mean, technically it was Kaiser that saved me, which is why I told that to Sophie. But they were there to execute the plan alongside him, so technically everybody got in the chance to save me. You thank both of your companions for assistance. Without them, you wouldn't be here now. Kaiser makes a gagging gesture and urges you to step out of the car. You turn around and make your way to the bar. The door closes behind you and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high of a price for helping you. Yeah, Agathon's a dearie. Agathon's a real dearie. Hope kind of diablerized somebody, so I don't care that much for her, but still. Swords and Stripes is pretty much abandoned tonight with the only bartender and one bleary-eyed local. Yeah. Sophie, yes? What's the plan? Sure, Hope ate her sire. I have a problem with that. I'm here, what's the plan? I mean, her sire... I can't actually say that that was her sire, so that's unsure. Diablerie is always bad, the entry. We're with the Camarilla. Get with the times, we ain't Tessabat. Yeah, it's fine. That is fine. Kill them, don't eat them. What's wrong with you? Oh, oof. That's a secret and I have to carry it. You have corrupted your soul. You have literally corrupted your soul by their standards. You can't become a wraith. You can't even die right anymore. We're on our way. Notify Torque if he's not there. We need to talk as soon as possible and move quickly. We tell the bartender to notify Torque. No, actually, I am apparently very well eaten and I don't need any special stuff right now, as indicated by the sides of my screen, which is amazing, considering that I was staked for 2 nights. Torque comes in 10 minutes later. Without Mia, he tips his hat to you, puts a hand on the bleary-eyed patron's shoulder and says something to him under his breath. They both laugh. Party, how's the night going? That's how you like it, hey? Silent. Well, Corp, I believe you wanted me for a reason. Let's hear it. You're about to tell him what's brought you here when the doors to the bar open and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. The patron's eyes are now glued to her, and so are the bartenders. Well, this isn't what we agreed upon, Corp. Care to explain? Things got complicated, we had to improvise. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Corp's already told you why I'm here. Not in any detail, and the circumstances of our meeting were supposed to be different, so Miss Langley, tell me why I shouldn't ask you to leave and kick out your prodigy while I'm at it? You will like what I have to say. Yeah, I've heard that line 100 times, but 99 out of those ended with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight. You know, this reminds me of that one person that played Crusader Kings 3 with the utmost dedication to eat the Pope. He literally started his own offshoot brand of religion where he included cannibalism in order to have the total goal of eating the Pope. I am just not down for Diablerie, the entry. I'm just not down for Diablerie. I don't know what to tell you. We're wasting time. There's a unique opportunity we should take advantage of, and we only have an hour, so to discuss it before it will be time to act. My driver's waiting outside. Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Mia. That was the deal. Second, it's Corp was supposed to do the driving, not your servant. Both serve me, so really it's of little difference. The circumstances changed and we had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. Have a secure spot in mind where we can talk. I'll stop you right there. My conditions were clear. The way I hear it, you want to break each one of them. I see no reason at all to agree to any of this. I believe I will be staying put tonight. You have places to be, yes? Torque, you're throwing away the only chance you have at challenging Callahan. Don't be a fool. The Tremere that you were playing? I'm surprised that anybody would play with a Tremere in their party. I would totally play a Tremere. Mostly because Tremere's loyalties lie to their clan first, to everything else second. To Camarilla second, their own safety third, and everybody else be damned. Call me a fool one more time, woman, and that's not the only thing I'll be going to be throwing. The entry, drinking from vampire is worse than drinking from a human. And I would totally be with her if I wasn't dead myself, because giving somebody an orgasm is just really icky. I would totally stick a metal straw down somebody's throat instead. Oh. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I am so not surprised. It's just in general, drinking from another one, unless it's your lover, is a lot more looked down upon than... Yeah, it's kinda... It's not an okay thing in the kindred society. Not supposed to treat each other like food. Lion don't eat lion. Unless he'd be very hungry, though. Okay, we're gonna be mean. Sophie talks right. He put out very clear conditions. This does sound like a setup. I wouldn't trust you either in this situation. You dare! She slaps you fast, hard. The sound reverberates in mostly empty bar. Dork smiles. See, Corp? That's the cab in a nutshell. You obey them to the letter or they put you in your place. Don't have any more time for this charade. Fine, stay here, both of you. That's what you want to do. But I was thinking, risking my reputation for you, Corp. You feel somebody tugging at your bark and are thrown behind the bar. More shots ring out, bottles break, the TV shatters into pieces, the wooden bar splitters. Oh, that's not good. Your sight comes back, but you think you're gone deaf, because suddenly the room is silent. You see Torque beside you and Marty, the bartender, bleeding out on the floor. You look over at the bar. Sophie's standing there, her dress particularly tattered, a visible hole in her leg. She's like the heart of a supernova, enticing, unavoidable, beautiful, and terrifying. What? Wait, I'm catching up with the chat right now. It had a pretty face, great dance moves, and an original copy of the Book of the Grave War. Oh, nothing wrong with bagged blood. I suppose the best way to teach your goody two-shoes a lesson is to place her in a place where she wouldn't have access to bagged blood and she would need to feed. That's a good way of getting over it. Just maybe make sure to never eat from a werewolf. Just a suggestion, apparently. That's like eating 10 shots of the energy drink that gives you wings, but like it lasts for weeks and it also makes you really angry. In front of her 8 operatives looking like a private military force just standing there paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. That is very powerful presence. No, I have never read Winter's Teeth comics, unfortunately. Torque, still there? Yeah. Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality? Sure thing. The Anarch is gone in the blink of an eye, and he reappears next to one of the soldiers. The armor-clad operative's head disappears in a puff of blood and bone. The same thing happens to the second, the third. You hear the radios go off on other soldiers' shoulders, a panicked voice pleading them to wake up. The 4th head pops, the 5th. Finally realize what's happening, but it's too late. The 6th man is beheaded by what you now see is just Torque's bare-fisted punch. Torque stomps by the 7th man, rips something off his neck, and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him kneel in front of her before biting as well. On your right, a man in full body armor emerges from back door, raising his assault rifle. What the fuck? Hello, Second Inquisition! well, we've fisted Gonna grab his attention. Hey, over here! Man turns, and for a very scary split second, you're looking directly down the barrel of an automatic rifle. The next moment, an impact throws him all the way into the back room as he crashes into a wall. Torque grins at you, standing in the exact same spot where the soldier was just a second before. You comfy down there, Langley? Sophie wipes her mouth of blood and looks at him. The meeting's still an item? Yes, I'll take it. Splendid. Torque walks behind the bar and checks on the bartender. You see the anarch open his own wrist and feed blood to the wounded man. Drink up, Marty. I'll make you feel better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming and she'll know what to do. Torque? Yeah, coming. Take the back door. Corp, come on. You slink back into the alley behind the bar, leaving 10 bodies and 1 grievously wounded ghoul behind. Nobody stops you from circling around the block and finding your way to Sophie's car. Gregory drives away casually as if it was just another late-night drive and not the crowning of a desperate, complicated evening. Sophie brings you to a luxurious apartment in Manhattan's Upper West Side. Oh, that's nice. The way she explains it, vampire who owned it left the city a few years ago and gave away spare keys to a few trusted compatriots. It's been used sporadically since. Who's paying the bill? Is he still paying the bill for the apartment that he no longer uses? Because damn man, that's rich. Fancy. You like it? It always felt too modern for my tastes. But what important is that it's secure. As long as nobody followed your car here, or the fledgling, trouble follows this one wherever they go. Even if that's the case, we have very little time to conduct our business here anyway, and we'll be leaving soon, I hope, so let's begin. I'm gonna stay silent, for I am really a respectful person. I have it on good authority that Boss Callaghan is bloodbound to Prince Panhard. That's an accusation and a half there, Langley. Got proof? No, but we're just a boat ride away from getting it. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Entry. That's really nice of you. That is, yep. Massive, yep, yep. What is that supposed to mean? Corp, the address that I procured from Kaiser was the meeting spot for Panhard's and Baron's regular sharing of blood and other bodily fluids, if the rumors are true. Aw, thank you. I'm sorry, Sophie, other bodily fluids? Sophie, dearest, there is no other bodily fluid.
I mean, we loosely have saliva. Loosely. Everything else is blood.
Here's blood. You can apparently sweat if you try really hard and it's blood. I don't know why you would do it outside of the scare factor. Oh yes, the brain fluid! Wait, Kaiser knew about this? Is there anything that insufferable clump of dead skin doesn't know in this city? He knows things, but only shares them if you pay. Neither the prince nor Callaghan can touch him. He's too useful. Would you blush of life in order to share other bodily fluids? Kaiser said saving me was in his interest. That can't be good, right? Can't be good, right? That is an interesting point. I think Kaiser might be as interested in shaking up the status quo as we are. Chaotic landscape makes for a great market for him, unlike a static one. Don't like playing into that creep's hands, but at least now I know that I'm doing it. The devil you know and all that. What was the address he gave you? They meet regularly on Ellis Island. In fact, their next scheduled meeting starts in about just half an hour. Oh. Yeah, I didn't Concert sweat, ew! You know, I'm normally quite a cold person, and you can use very, very strong deodorants, right? You don't have to, man. You don't have to. Hot damn, I'm guessing you want to crash the meeting. Why? So you can see the proof for yourself, so that I can make sure too, and so that I have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present to her my ultimatum. The prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she pleases, but if she stays, the entire court will know, and the next prince might not look favorably on her past. Dealing with anarchs, especially so closely, is a punishable offense in the Camarilla, I'm sure you heard. I mean, doesn't that vary region to region, prince to prince? I mean, she's the highest authority for her region. It's not like all the princes meet inside some sort of council like the friggin' premier do. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Say you remove Panhard and I even remove Callaghan, then what? Torque, did you ever wonder why Callaghan is keeping you in check? Because I wondered why the prince condemns anarchs during her visit to Elysium but doesn't allow the Ivory Tower to challenge you. She or they have engineered the status quo, not for the good of the sects, but for private gain. They keep us all in line because it lets them hold on to power that much longer. You know, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't seem like a bad thing. I mean, both sides are not slaughtering each other, are they? They just kinda exist around one another, preserving lives, not fighting with one another. That seems like a good thing, doesn't it? And your goal is what? Make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. I agree, Torque, I agree. You cammies will get your butts kicked out of New York in no time. If you anarchs manage to organize, which I doubt you will, at any rate, it's a risk I am willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. The entire operation has been years in the making. Torque, I'm offering you a chance to square things with Callaghan and lever the playing field. If we get rid of these two, we can start on equal footing at the next stage of the Dance Macabre. She's literally like, let's slaughter each other for the good of the people. How do I factor into this plan? Yes, we will be taking you with us to Ellis Island, both as another set of eyes to witness the Prince and Baron in the act and as a bit of added security. Don't think Helena Callaghan would dare to lay a finger on me, but they will not find me unprepared. You know, after all those years spent in Callaghan's shadow and taking part in all the kindred dick measuring contests, I should expect a ruse, some ploy to kill me an out-of-the-way place. That's her inherent paranoia talking. My gut tells me it's time to get this show started. I do hope you have a boat nearby, Langley. Of course I do. It's waiting for us by the pier. Let's go! A landmark with a dark past. Museum on one hand is a dilapidated piece of history on the other. You leave the boat and make your way to the southern part of the island, paying no heed to the renovated tourist attractions of the northern side. No resistance, no patrol. This sets Sophie on edge. She's moving quietly. Torque is following suit. Finally, you see it, light coming from a window in one of the buildings on the edge of the island. The three of you slowly creep closer to the building and take a look inside the window. There is Callaghan kneeling in front of the prince, sucking on Panhard's wrist. Both fully clothed, a small blessing. Torque makes his move, and before Sophie can stop him, he busts through the building's door. It all happens very quickly. Torque grabs Callaghan by the shoulders and throws him through the still open door. Callaghan hits the ground hard. Torque appears on top of him and starts punching. You fucker, you piece of shit. Stop! The prince's voice takes hold for just long enough to make Torque relent, which the Baron uses the fullest. He shoves Torque off himself and tries to bite down. Prince, call off your laugh, dog. Langley, what is the meaning of this? The two Anarch break apart, both wounded, but neither is quite done yet. They look at one another with pure hatred. Kill that bitch, Helene, but leave the fledgling to me. Right after I deal with this shit stain, I'm gonna... Shrill of unpleasant laughter fills the air. You know who it belongs to. So entertaining! Oh no, the napkin guy! The napkin guy... Okay, can somebody speak with the Tremere and like, Aw, kitty. Can somebody speak with the Tremere and say that matching your, napkin with your neck napkin is A, not a look, and B, it looks like you have two neck napkins wrapped around it. Because he's the Tremere Regent. I'm pretty sure. And he's dressed weird. So entertaining, truly. It feels almost a shame to break up the spectacle, but alas, Thomas. Who the fuck is this joker? Ah yes, I don't think we met, though I did hear a lot about you, Mr. Torque. My name is Thomas Ardro, and Callaghan uses this moment of uncertainty to strike. He's still too slow for Torque, who throws the boss onto the lawn, where the two exchange blows again. Helene, if you'd be so kind as to ask your friend to not hurt our guest too much. Callaghan, don't kill him. This time Callaghan comes out on top and grabs Torque in an iron hold. Your companion struggles but can't quite break away. I will not be denied, Helene, not this time. You will do as I command. And she will do as I command her, Douglas, old boy. I'm sorry, do you have Sophie blood bonded or do you have Panhard blood bonded? I wouldn't be too surprised if he had Panhard blood bonded, honestly. Yeah, I mean, they're Tremere, and Tremere like to play politics from the shadows. What? Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted, I feel like I need to break up this little spectacle. It's been going on for much too long. You think you're smart, Langley, you and your clique. Figured out that there was something fishy going on all on your own, but you were always working with just one piece of the puzzle, wasn't she, Corp? What? Well, Tremere can't blood bond in V5. This came out in 2019. V5 released, what, 2018? It's possibly that writers were working with old material. Arturo, if you blood bonded me, I think Arturo's a Tremere. I don't think Arturo was a... I'm pretty sure he was introduced as a Tremere region. You think he's a Toreador? Then again, Bloody Quadir is a Toreador. I wouldn't be super surprised right now. I think I would remember... being blood bonded to Arturo. Does he have a last name? Okay, Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. Arturo. Thomas Arturo. There we go. There's a wiki page. Oh, he is a Toreador! Then why do you look so weird, bro? And how did I miss it? Well, but, yep, go on, sorry, miscategorized you. What are you talking about? I I think I would remember a blood bond. What am I talking about, you ask? You fledgling. You don't know. How could you? Only I knew. And your sire, of course. They're the one who agreed to embrace you after some negotiations. Oh. You hear a scream and a curse. It's Calgan, whose arm has been nearly ripped off his body. Dork breaks out of the Baron's grasp, but doesn't continue to attack. Instead, he's at the edge of the water in the blink of an eye and disappears into the Hudson. The only trace left of him is his fedora. Leave him! Why can't you just trust the actors to play their roles? No matter. A problem for another night. He'll reach his allies. He'll tell everyone of this. Let him. And why not? Nobody will believe him. Besides, his nights are numbered now that he's in the SI's sights. How could you, Corp? I saved you. Atra suddenly appears next to her and slaps her in the face. Did you hear anything I said, Langley? Nothing? It's not them, it's me. Me? Thomas, what? No, shut up. Shut up, I'm talking now. You played this game all along. You were playing on one board, but you're just a pawn on another bigger board, see? You never realized that people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face whenever they don't like how the game's going. But the thing is, you weren't even adept at playing the game you knew, Corp. Just another pawn placed on the board by my associate. You thought they were your piece since you took them in, but who gave you that idea? Somebody speaking to her, a man in glasses, the man standing before you now. This is cruel. We know what's gonna happen. If only somebody would speak up for the poor child. Could be a useful tool for the Camarilla. What has happened if she didn't comply? Would he have just been like, no matter, I'll try again? Of course, those are not the words you heard, were they? No, you were already grasping for some opportunity to further your scheme. I put the bait out and you took it, hook, line, and sinker. After that, it was only a matter of time before you started using Corp as your errand girl. No one is quite as easy to track and monitor as a naive fledgling who's just learning the ropes. What is it that you want, Thomas? What do I want? Oh boy! The answer is so simple but so hard to put to words. Unstable stability, cutting-edge tales of thrills and intrigue that push it to the limit and then return you to the tried and tested status quo gently, infallibly. A system full of distractingly moving parts which simulate conflict so convincingly that its users never feel a need to direct their energy towards upsetting the system. Achieving the eternal through the disposable. Build a city that's like a ship of Zeus, constantly changing its parts yet always maintaining the same purpose, serving the same goal at all times. A large-scale infrastructure that has something like an exhaust system for the spirit, something that disperses the toxicity around instead of concentrating it into a single place. None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense. Thing is, Sophie, it kinda does to me. You already said that, like, Panhard and Callaghan are, like, blood bonded to each other. But that's the thing, they have achieved a status quo where neither of the side, the top is never threatened. So they create false animosity while they get to hold on to power and they get to stay alive. It's a good idea. She wanted to upset status quo for some weird-ass reason. I am fully with Thomas on this page. If you're gonna be immortal and you're gonna play politics, secure your bloody ass. Spoken like someone who's never really had what it takes to make it into the big leagues. What's with the handkerchiefs, still? With a theatrical snap of fingers, he gives his last sentence a sense of finality. Something's changed in the air. You could swear you saw a shadow move behind Sophie. Goodbye, Sophie. A person appears behind Sophie. You can't believe your eyes. It's Adelaide Davids holding garden shears in her hands. Who was Davis? She's gonna die either way. Let's say that we're sorry. Sophie, I'm sorry. Oh. The girl that was hitting on us. And I said that I will date her. I still kind of want to date her. Honestly. That snipping noise. Arturo's unpleasant laughter erupts right next to you. Oh, Corp, your career is moving at a breakneck pace! Moving up and up and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. What do you want from me? I was about to get to that. Arlene, feel free to leave us and take the Baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should. Shush, you're just being jealous. Adeline, escort the prince and dear old Douglas, please. Breakneck pace. Break. Yep. Sure thing, darling. Did you eat her? Do you just... Is that a look? Do you smudge your lipstick all over? You're left alone next to Sophie's body. You know, by this point she should be, like, decomposing. You try not to look, but it's hard to ignore her little frame decomposing in front of your eyes. Yep. Her red dress is like a cloth thrown over a mummified corpse. Congratulations, you won this little game. You set out on a suicide mission and successfully brought down the power-hungry wannabe tyrant. Even it probably wasn't the way you imagined it. You know what? I bloody agree with Thomas here. Sophie wanted Anarchs and the Camarilla to duke it out in New York City just for the hell of it. Because, he thought that it was better if one side could finally win. And that meant removing the factors that were keeping it in status quo. But if you keep things in status quo, it's actually safer for everybody. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again. Life after death, immortality, eternal youth. What they don't tell you is, of course, living in paradise is inherently sinful and when not everyone can partake. But you have time to learn how to live with sin, don't you? You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My unlife began right here, and it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in books and keep reading and reading until literature gave me a piece of wisdom I needed to go on. That's why you kind of look like a Tremere, sir. Your passion was books. Personally, I find reading a silly hobby in retrospect. I always had this minuscule hope that the next sentence I read could finally bring me salvation, but it never did. It only gave me fuel for this elevated, righteous, intellectual suffering. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil every paragraph down to power, relationship, the characters' influence over each other, the writer trying to impress the reader, etc. So you were reading fiction. You were reading lots of fiction. The strings everyone pulls started to look like strands that weave into the fabric of fate, and once I saw this beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked into overdrive. Didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine, give it input whenever needed until it trusted me to do more. And it did. Fate let me look after the city. With my architect's tools, I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. According to the wiki page, he was embraced into 1970s. This is like a 50-year-old guy, guys. Jesus, everybody in New York is so young. And among many tools this process gave me, one of them was a way to reliably come up with useful agents like you. The methods I used were crude at times, but the root was there and all you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebook passages, the others plan sturdy arteries. In the end, the effect is the same. Someone always follows. I've grown fond of you. You've done so well. Even when that idiot Calgan tipped off the Inquisition, you still escaped. I like that kind of resourcefulness. I kind of hate the fact that they wrote Beckoning into V5. Or the fact that they sent off the Sabbat to fight some sort of holy war to begin with. Or the fact that they sent La Sombra to join the Camarilla. Kinda hate a lot of things about V5. That being said, apparently Sabbat are coming back as 5th and 6th generations because they ate all the met the suit the last. So yeah. Oh, they recently did the companion book. Effectively, if you're old, like super old, like 5th, 4th generation old, you can use your blood to command everybody off your blood. And you can do this from sleep. You don't need to actively be awake. So, Sabbat went to the Middle East to seek out all the super old people that were super asleep. They went in to wage a holy war. So the super old people that were super asleep started calling pawns that they thought were gonna be useful. So all the old people went off to duke it out in the Middle East. I've seen people read the companion and I don't like what they did with the companion because for one thing, vicissitude is now just what, a part of Protean? A lot of powers got kind of consolidated and a lot of super monstrous aspects were made less monstrous. On top of that, our gypsy criminal buddies are now just that of the spirit of Loki, the trickster god. You know, they kind of toned down a lot of things. I know that some people are like, oh, it's not that toned down. It can still be monstrous, and it did tone down quite a lot of things. I want them to be over with the 5th edition, and I want them to rewrite some of it when they do a 6th edition. But I mean, they spent a lot of times not writing editions, so I suppose one where they could rewrite all of this shit will come out very least a decade later, so a lot of time for me to make peace with V5, I suppose. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. So take my blood. Just enough so that we can start off on the right foot as a sign of good faith. A sign that you're ready to play in the big leads, ready to behold the sights I've prepared for you. What do you say, Corp? I suppose I answered something to that. But I don't know what. I'm gonna assume that we did. We probably did. Yep, let's... I like main menu music more. We have a thing to talk about here. First of all, the ending kind of makes a lot more sense than a lot of people say that it would. Sophie was literally trying to upset the status quo. I mean, apparently, they weren't slaughtering each other. The sides were set up to hate each other, and there were small scuffles with small people getting lost. Sophie was actively trying to upset the status quo. So yeah, if I Thomas is actually acting quite logically here. And he was at the start of the game as well. He was standing in front of that broody window. I don't actually understand what it is about him standing in front of that broody window, though. I thought that he would be a Ventru, but no. Yeah. Sophie wanted that power for herself, and she died for it. That makes sense. Now... So yeah, ending actually makes sense. Ending makes perfect amount of sense. I suppose it makes sense because you start at like... You start with seeing Thomas in front of that window, meaning that you couldn't have died back then. Meaning that you were still alive 15 years later, meaning that it makes sense that you didn't get the choice. But it feels kind of bad that you didn't get a choice. Like, yeah. I actually now don't know what I want to do. I don't know whether the next stream night I want to do a second playthrough just so that we can see Gangrel and Nosferatu bits. And we would be skipping a lot outside of maybe the start because the start would change a little bit. So I don't know whether I just want to have like a selective playthrough where I just read what's important, or do I want to move on immediately to Shadows of New York? So, that's something to think about. This was Coteries of... It's not too bad. The writing is definitely to be desired for at some points, especially in the main story. You felt something in your groin. Or the time when you beat your Ventru boss. And I definitely prefer more choice in my visual novels, considering that you're already making a visual novel with just art and music, and this one had a bit of reused art. Not the worst. Definitely not the worst. Even the Call of Cthulhu one that had a lot more choice, funnily enough, was written a lot worse. So, the art was definitely pretty outside of what the hell is happening on the front page. Why would you put the teeth there? And why is she holding a bitten apple? She can't eat. What the hell? The art was pretty. I actually like the main menu and the in-game, like, turning of the sun music, which is this. It kind of reminds me of playing like a sappy detective game. One thing that I would have done otherwise, besides giving you more endings and more choices, I would have put a feed button. Because, fuck. Forwarding their plans. Sometimes you just gotta take the time out of the night to feed, you know? Apparently I lost control once. But the game didn't let me feed for a very long time. Yeah, but why her teeth so close together, though? And would you really risk vomiting all over the place in order to, bite the apple? Oh! That's interesting. Fair enough. But yeah, I'm gonna see. Maybe I'll put a Twitter poll up. Do we do a selective playthrough of this just to see the two other companions where we skip majority of the text, or do we move on? Iron Gullet only works about blood, okay? So if you want to have like back blood, one of the campaigns that I saw, a guy actually managed to put taco in blood and drink that and be fine. That's a thing. Eat food. I didn't actually know that. But yeah, anyway, guys. Thank you all for dropping by. That was very pleasant. There was a lot of you. So thanks for the host. when we come back, I'm either doing a selective playthrough of this or we're immediately moving to the next game. So yeah, thank you for being here. Was a pleasure to read, and see you the next time.